Most people remember Paul Walker as the blue-eyed heartthrob from The Fast and the Furious, the adrenaline-fueled undercover cop who raced down streets and into the hearts of millions. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. But behind the Hollywood image, behind the stunts and the fame, was a man few truly understood. And the truth about his life and death is far more powerful than any film could ever capture. Paul Walker didn't grow up chasing the spotlight. Born in Glendale, California in 1973, he was the oldest of 5 children in a humble, working-class family. He wasn't obsessed with fame. His true love? The ocean. He studied marine biology, dreamed of becoming a scientist, and even idolized Jacques Cousteau as a child. Acting just happened. From small roles in TV shows and commercials, Paul slowly made a name for himself. But it wasn't until 2001 that everything changed. The Fast and the Furious hit theaters, and with it, a star was born. But even as the franchise exploded into a global phenomenon, Paul Walker stayed grounded. While the world saw a movie star, Paul saw himself as a father first, and a regular guy second. He hated the red carpet. He wasn't interested in partying or paparazzi. What he loved was the outdoors. Surfing, racing, traveling, and spending time with his daughter Meadow. In fact, much of what made Paul remarkable never made headlines. He once secretly bought a 10-0 engagement ring for a struggling young couple he overheard in a jewelry store. He didn't ask for recognition, he just left, quietly, anonymously. He founded a humanitarian organization called Reach Out Worldwide, a nonprofit that deploys disaster relief teams to help victims of earthquakes, tsunamis, and hurricanes. He personally visited disaster zones, not for publicity, but because he believed it was the right thing to do. He didn't do these things to be a hero. He did them because he was human. But in 2013, tragedy struck. It was November 30th, a sunny Saturday in Santa Clarita, California. Paul was attending a charity event for Reach Out Worldwide, raising money for victims of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. He wasn't filming, he wasn't racing, he was there simply to help. That afternoon, Paul got into a red Porsche Carrera GT, a rare and extremely powerful car with his friend and business partner, Roger Rodas, behind the wheel. They took a short drive around the industrial park near the event. What happened next is still hard to process. At approximately 3:26 p.m., the Porsche lost control, struck a light pole, and burst into flames. Both men were killed instantly. The world was in shock. But confusion quickly followed. Many believed Paul had been speeding, recklessly living out his movie persona. But the truth was more complicated. Investigations revealed that the car had old tires, and that a mechanical failure might have contributed. Experts later concluded that the crash was not caused by street racing, nor was Paul driving. He was a passenger, and he died not while seeking thrills, but while supporting a cause he believed in. What made the tragedy even harder to bear was that Paul had just started talking about slowing down, spending more time with his daughter, who had recently come to live with him full-time, walking away from acting after Fast 7. He had told friends that he wanted to get back to marine biology, maybe even teach. He wanted peace. In the days following his death, tributes poured in from across the world. Not just from celebrities, but from regular people, fans, families, and volunteers who shared stories of Paul's quiet kindness, how he would stop to help strangers on the highway, how he treated janitors the same as producers, how he listened more than he spoke. Vin Diesel, his co-star and close friend, called him my brother and named his own daughter after him. He said Paul was the best part of all of them, and perhaps that's the most heartbreaking part. Paul wasn't done. He had so much more to give. Fast Furious 7 was only halfway finished when he died. The production team was shattered. They rewrote the script, used his brothers as stand-ins, and gave his character, Brian O'Connor, a heartfelt goodbye in the film's final scene. Set to the now famous song, See You Again, that final sequence wasn't just for Brian, it was for Paul. The world said goodbye through the screen, not to a character, but to a man who lived with humility, gave quietly, and left far too soon. But here's the truth most people don't know. Paul Walker didn't live fast and die young. He lived kindly and died doing what he loved, surrounded by people he cared about, supporting a cause he believed in. He was more than a movie star. He was a father, a friend, a humanitarian, a man of quiet strength and deep integrity. And though he's gone, His legacy lives on in the hearts of those he helped, the stories he inspired, and the lives he touched, not with fame, but with simple, genuine human decency. That's the truth about Paul Walker, and it deserves to be remembered.